Hola clase! Today we are going to talk about the most important thing you learn all year, los verbos, verbs. In this video you will learn what is a verb, what are some verbs we know in Spanish, and why do verbs change spelling. As a reminder, your audio needs to be on. You'll learn better if you can hear my explanations clearly, so earbuds or quiet speakers are required. Let's start off with what a verb is. It is an action. It is what you do. Think of what you do every day. Those are verbs. I walk to school. I see my friends. I run to the bus. I go to class. I say hi to my teacher. All actions, and they're words that we know in Spanish as well. Camina, ve, corre, va, dice. Our Spanish verbs that we have learned so far all end in the letter E or the letter A. Take a look at this story that we've read before this year. We've got the word abre, cierra, dice, repite. All of those are action words. All of those are verbs. And abre, cierra, dice, repite all end in E or A. Here's where it gets a little trickier. E and A can change. Take a look at this story that we read a few months back. Verbs in yellow look like the ones we've learned so far this year. Dice, no puede, responde. What about the ones in orange? They don't end in E or A. We learned va means goes, but in orange it says vamos. We learned corre means runs, but down at the bottom in orange it says corren. And we learned camina means walks, but this one says caminan. Guys, those extra letters that we just saw tell you who is doing the action. In English, we use words like I, you, he, she, we, and they to specify who does an action, who's running, who's talking, who's jumping. Those are called pronouns. Spanish avoids using pronouns by using letters instead. This poster in our class that's on the left shows what I mean. Corre ends in E, so it means he runs or she runs. If I change that E to an O, I change who is doing the action. Corro means I run. If I add an S, once again I've changed who is doing the running. Corres means you run. If I add mos, as you can see on the poster, that changes the meaning to we. Corremos means we run. Finally, if you see an N, that is for a group of people, so corren could mean they run or you all run. Let's look back at the story that we just saw. Let's look at those orange words again. Now we understand what they mean. Vamos is clearly related to va, which means goes. Turning it into vamos with an MOS means we are going. Corren at the bottom means they run because the extra N means it's a group. They are running. This even goes back to the first day of class when you learned how to give your name. Me llamo ends in O. The letter O in Spanish means I am doing something. Me llamo, I'm called, I'm named. But when you ask someone else their name or ask the name of a character, you use como se llama. It's not llamo anymore, it becomes llama. That's because the A ending means he or she. You even use these rules without knowing it when you ask to go to the bathroom. We learned back in Unit 2.5 that puede means can. Puede, he or she can. But when you ask to use the restroom, you don't say puede with an E. You say puedo ir al baño with an O. That's because the letter O means I. Puedo, can I? Puede, on the other hand, means he or she. If you said puede ir al baño, you'd be asking, can he go to the bathroom? And that's not what you mean to say. Let's take a verb that we've already learned and change it up a little bit to see what happens. Let's use corre, which means he or she runs. In the sentence, el chico corre a Panera, I use corre because it's a he who is doing the action. El chico corre a Panera. If I change that E to an O and make it corro a Panera, it means I'm running. If I change it to an S, corres a Panera, it means you run to Panera. If I throw MOS on, just like the poster says, it means we. Corremos means we run. Lastly, N is for groups. Corren a Panera means they run. to Panera, or you all run to Panera. Let's do some practice. Up at the top are 8 verbs we've learned so far this year, such as abre, cierra, puede, and va. But down at the bottom are 8 words that look like vocab you know, but with the final letters changed. What do those words mean? You can use the poster on the left if you need help. Here's your answer key. As you can tell, it's the last letters of the word that tell you who's doing the action. Corremos means we run, not runs. Cierro with an O means I close. Pueden with an N means they can. It all comes back to the poster on the left. Let's switch it up again. If you change the ending, you change the meaning. If abre means he or she opens, which one of the bottom ones mean I open? Abro, abres, abrimos, abran. If you guessed abro, you are correct. The O ending means I do something. What about the word vive, which means he or she lives? Which one would be they live? Vivo, vives, vivimos, viven. If you chose viven, you are correct. The N ending means a group. They live. What about good old corre? If it means he or she runs, how could I change it and say, do you run? Would it be corro, corres, corremos, or corren? If you said corres, you are correct. As per the poster, adding an S means you do something. Camina means he or she walks, one of our earliest vocab words. What if I want it to be a group? All of us. Which one is we walk? Camino, caminas, caminamos, caminan. If you chose caminamos, you are correct. Mos means we do something. Let's sum it all up. A verb is an action word. Some examples of Spanish verbs are corre, abre, cierra. They're all things that you do. Spanish verb endings tell you who is doing the action, and you must memorize the table below. O means I'm doing something. S means you are doing something. E or A means he or she is doing something. Mos means we are doing something. And N means a group. They or you all are doing something. That's all there is to it. Hasta pronto, clase.